Gonna start recording and we're gonna go live. All right. Looks like we are streaming. Anyway, good Monday morning to you all out there. Thanks for checking in. I do this every week. Mondays, I look at the real estate market in New Hampshire, Maine, and the areas surrounding Portsmouth, about a 10-mile radius, give or take. And today, on Mondays, I look at price reductions. So that's what we're going to do this morning. Anyway, I will, let me show you my screen. As expected, and has been the case, no price reductions in Portsmouth. That does not mean that properties haven't sold below the listing price. And so let's see where things stood. And as we expected, as I've expected, properties have sold below the listing price, especially once they hit 2 weeks or so. So we can see here, let's see, this property listed at $850, sold at $860. That was only 5 days on market. This property here, let's see, let's bring that over. This property looks like a condo, listed at $549.9, sold at $515. That was after 14 days on the market. This property probably, is that new construction? No, that I don't think that's new construction. Probably renovated, but probably sold before it even hit the market by the looks of it. This property on Dennett sold for $1 million even. That is nearly $200,000 below the original listing price. And that was after 63 days on the market. So we are seeing prices closing under the listed price, not necessarily with price reductions hitting the market. Anyway, that's Portsmouth. Let's look at the wider area, about a 10-mile radius, and we will look at price reductions here. 8 price reductions. So days on market, you can see these days on market. The lowest days on market is this property in Berwick, 12 days on market, Ridland Road. Let's check that out. This is 4 beds, 3 baths, 800,000, and originally listed at 825. 12 days on market, like we said, and just dropped their price to 800,000, give or take. We can check out the finishings. Has solar. Has a pretty good sized solar array. That's really nice. That definitely helps with energy bills. Reasonably updated. Clean, open. Looks like relatively recent construction. We'll see what year it was built. I didn't catch that before we got into this view, but we've got this. Anyway, let's cue that off. We will just get out of this. So what year was this? 2006, so about 20 years old. That's not bad. And as far as where this is in Berwick, looks like a washed out road that was never repaired. Not far from the state line, but have to go all the way around to get into town or to get into East Rochester. Nice quiet little spot though. That looks lovely. If your goal is seclusion, that's not a bad property. 800,000. Let's look at some of these others. Let's see where we have price reductions in Dover, Elliott, Kittery, Berwick, and that's it for right now. Don't see any in New York over the last 7 days at least. This property, Durham Road, you know, for that price, there are other properties down here in Portsmouth with tremendous accommodations. This is, you get a garage. This looks, when was this built? This was built in the 80s, as I expected as much. It looks like it. So about 40 years old, this construction. Looks reasonably updated. But it's a townhome. That's not bad, but again, for that price, I mean, you do get space. So 1,700 square feet. That's not bad. 2 bedrooms, though. I'm sure you can probably carve out a third, but we'll move on. This is Main Street and Elliott. 1,900 square feet. 650,000. Built in 1903. And 67 days on market. So this was originally listed at 725, and now we're down to 650. It looks like. We'll just take a look at some of these photos. So well over 100 years old, but some nice finishings here. Nice woodwork. Got those old radiators. Nice updated kitchen. Do love that millwork. Some old wallpaper, but overall really nice property here. And we'll back out. Nice grounds. Somewhat overgrown, but you know, that is up to, looks like if you look here, you can see that there's some roof repair that's necessary. Whether or not that that could be a reason why it's sitting on the market for as long as it is. 67 days on market, 650,000. New roof that's a big ticket item. So that's something to just keep your eyes on. And let's see, yeah, 1903. We'll move along to the next property. This is Doe Drive, 2001, so about 24 years old at this point, and originally listed at 875. Now we're down to 850. So, and this is 43 days on market. So let's see, that is after 43 days on market. Oh, it's been withdrawn. So, you know, the price dropped, but it's been withdrawn. I don't know why it's not. We'll just take a look at it anyway. You never know about these properties. If this appeals to you, let me know, and we can reach out and see if selling is something that they are still inclined to do. Nice soaking tub. Of course, you know me, I like the walk-in showers. Really nice. Love those wood floors. It's pretty. Love that little pond water feature. Looks like a lovely property. Really comfortable and homey. How many acres? This is 2.3 acres. That's nice. And where is this? This is just off of 236, just off Beach Road. So, not too far north from I-95's here, so this is right up in here. It's a great location. Let's see, go to Bartlett Road in Kittery. This is still active, built in 1993, so about 30 years, 32 years, and originally listed at 749. Now we are at 700, so about a $50,000 reduction. And We've got 5.6 acres and 1,600 square feet. Let's take a look at some of the photos. They've got a little pod there. Not a bad lot. Reasonable kitchen. Open. It's got a lot of stuff. One thing, when you are selling, decluttering, it makes such a big difference. And I know it's difficult for some, believe me. There's a reason that I don't show you more of the house, because it's tough to keep things clear and clean. They've got a lot of stuff out in the yard. So, you know, all of these factors can impact the sale of your home. So if you have the wherewithal to clear things out, to clear out clutter, it helps when you need to sell your home, both in the house and in the yard. So let's look, we already looked at Ridland Road. Let's look at Heritage Drive here in Berwick. This looks like brand new construction. Originally listed at $820,000. Now we're at $798,000. So that is, let's see, looks nice. Nice kitchen. Don't know what stage they're at just yet, but if they are finished, or perhaps they're just waiting for a buyer to come in. You know, that's a difficult part of new construction, especially when you're building spec homes, is you lose some steam, you lose some momentum as you're building, and then you reach that point before it's finished. You get it on the market and it's not quite finished, and you know, that's just another factor to keep in mind. But this looks great, and there you go again. I love that walk-in shower. You know me, love the walk-in showers. Give me that all day long. I don't need a tub. Nice little property. Great spaces. Of course, it's clean and fresh, and that makes a big difference. So let's see, where is that? Oh, Heritage Drive. Yeah, so I know where this is. So, I just helped someone purchase a property out over here. This is a great little area right off of School Street, which is close to, that goes straight into Berwick, into North Berwick. You can get out to the 95, get up to Maine, or down here, head south. Not a bad location, really great location. And the property looks really nice too. So, what has this been? 176 days on market. So yeah, they put it on the market before they had construction underway. I'll have to take a drive by there and check that out. Spur Road in Dover. Where is this? 900,000, a million. Originally listed for 1.2 million. Now we're down to 1 million after a previous price drop in August. So let's look at where we are here on the Bellamy River, just off of Route 16. So you've got the Route 4 cuts off here to go into Durham, and Spur Road goes right up along here. So you do have the highway right next to you here, but it's also a nice quiet, it's a nice little road with water views. So let's take a look at this. Oh, that, I can't tell from this which is the property here, but beautiful lawns, beautiful water views. This looks virtually staged. They haven't said that it's virtually staged, but that looks virtually staged. So this must be the property. Great water access. You got a dock. I wonder if that is a deep water dock. Along the river, there are a lot of spots where you can have water access, but in many cases, the tide affects whether or not you can take the boat out or whether or not you can get back in. So you have to be very cognizant about the tides. The kitchen looks a bit dated. Those countertops look dated. Looks like a little party room down in the basement. Of course, my question would be about where the waters rise to, like some of the big high tides that we've had over recent years. Doesn't look like an existing dock out here. This might be tied to this property, so doesn't come out as far. This dock probably comes out to where the deep water is. So this probably is not a deep water dock, I'm guessing. Oh, but it's also, that's the neighboring property. So this property doesn't even have a, that's misleading. You can't really tell which is which here. So, anyway, beautiful views. I mean, you can't beat that location if you love water views. Let's see, in Shepherd's Cove Road. This is in Kittery. 738,000. And where did we start at? Started at 768, and now we're down to 738. And we're 21 days on market. 1,600 square feet. Does not say how big the lot is. I can't see that here. Doesn't say, but let's see. Because it's a condo or townhouse. But Shepherd's Cove, these are nice properties. I mean, it's a nice association. You've got some amenities. You do have some water access here. I think I know some folks that live out in this community. Got access to kayaking right out there on the river. Yeah, I've been out here. Kayak storage, put in and put out. Nice little property. Anyway, that's what we have for price reductions. And while we're here, let's just look at some of the sold properties. Properties that have sold. And let's look by city. So lots have sold in Dover, several in Exeter, sprinkling in Greenland, Hampton, Lee, Newmarket, several in Portsmouth. Let's just expand this. And Somersworth, South Berwick, York. So lots of properties have sold, and keeping with pricing, this property in York sold below list after only 9 days. This property sold below list after only 6 days. So I'm seeing more of that downward price pressure. 325. Wow, that has got to be way off. What is up with this on Beach Ridge Road in York? That was listed at 600,000 and it sold. Wow. I'm going to have to look into that a bit more, see what was behind that. That's a huge price reduction. And something that you should keep in mind. Should you put in a lowball offer? I don't know. Every situation is different. There are different factors at play. If you're not, if you don't need that property, maybe it is worth putting in a lower offer and seeing what happens. You never know what's going to happen. I've been talking to folks that have been surprised to be the winning bid, even though they weren't the highest bid. Let's see. Yeah, plenty of properties. This property sold just $1,000 over the asking price, and that was 5 days on market. This property below the asking price. Same here. This above after 3 days. This above 5 days. We've already looked at this Dennett Street. We looked at all these Portsmouth properties to sell. Newmarket after 3 days sold. Wow, Wow, that sold 45,000 below the asking price. Let's see what was up with this. This was built in, does it tell me? Does it tell me? I can't see it. 1978. So right at the lead paint cutoff, for those of you paying attention. Looks like a split ranch. Looks like it needs some love from the outside. Looks like it needs some love from the inside. Could be a flipper coming in. Let's see, what was it? That sold at $255. 3 days on market. Very likely a cash offer for this property. But hey, you know, you never know what you're going to find. James Farm Road out in Lee. I used to live out here. That is not the property that I lived on. This was 8 days on market, 3,000 square feet, and 2.2 acres. So originally listed at $585, sold at $585. And let's just take a look at this. This looks like contemporary architecture. It's like original, some original finishings, so hasn't been too extensively updated, but not terrible. It's got that modern contemporary architecture, some wallpaperings. Looks like it's in a nicely wooded area, which is nice. Trees help to keep the home cool in the summer. I bet the birds are lovely out there. It's not bad. Interesting layout, these octagons. Anyway, moving up, this property 145 days on market and sold 130,000 over asking. So what was this? This was new construction. So perhaps they had some upgrades that went along with this. But yeah, you just have a general layout and that's it. What was this floor plan look like? First floor primary, and yeah, 1, 2. So you have three bedrooms and a study. So that's not bad. A shared bathroom upstairs, an optional bonus room. Probably some of the costs came from finishing off this bonus room. But let's see. Yeah, so lots of great properties out there, and if you or someone in your sphere is in the market, I'd love to be connected with them. Someone who is looking to buy or sell, because your referrals matter, and I appreciate all of your support. So that's all I've got for now. I'm gonna transition back here. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Do check in with me on Friday when we will look at all of the new listings to hit the market over the previous 7 days. So that'll include properties that hit the market today, over this past weekend, and throughout this week. So we'll look at that on Friday. And until then, you have a really great week. Be positive and go out there, be a blessing to someone, because that matters. All right. That's all I've got for now. I will see you then.